Hey guys, welcome back. Butter chicken is a popular Indian dish and it's a favorite go-to for takeout. As I'm about to show you, it's so much better when you do it from home. Let me show you how it's done.
Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is address our marinade for our chicken. And before we start, I wanted to give full disclosure that some of these spices, not just for the chicken marinade, but also for the sauce, they might not be readily available in most grocery stores. So what I'll do is I'll leave a link in the description to some of the ingredients that might not be so easy to find. So anyway, for our marinade, we're going to start with a quarter of a cup of Greek yogurt. And to that, we're going to add the juice of a lemon. Next, we're going to go in with 2 tablespoons of a neutral oil. I'm using avocado oil. Then we're going to go in with 1 tablespoon each of garlic paste. And ginger paste, also a tablespoon. And then finally we're going to go in with our spices. I'm using a teaspoon and a half of kosher salt. A teaspoon of Garam Marsala. A teaspoon and a half of Kashmiri chili powder. A teaspoon of ground cumin. Teaspoon of ground coriander. Ooh. And down. And a teaspoon of dry fenugreek leaves. And all we're going to do now is just give that a mix. Okay, next we're going to add our chicken, and I've got here 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs that I've cut into chunks. So all we're going to do now is add that to the marinade. And we'll give it a mix. Just make sure that you get that chicken nice and coated in that marinade. Okay, all we're going to do now is let this sit in the fridge and marinate for at least an hour, and then we'll come back to it. Alright, so our chicken has finished marinating. We've taken it out of the fridge. The next step we're going to do is we're going to sear our chicken. Now, eventually we're going to let it finish cooking in the sauce, but for now our goal is to sear it and get it some color. So we're going to take our pan and we're going to get it to medium-high heat, get it roaring hot, and get a good sear on this chicken. Alright, so we've got our pan ripping hot, so we're going to add a little bit of oil. Now we're just going to carefully layer our chicken in. It's very important we're going to cook these in batches. We don't want to overcrowd the pan. Alright, so chicken is nice and seared. We have put it to the side. Now let's focus on our sauce. So, to a Dutch oven, we're going to set our heat to medium-low. And we're going to add 5 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Okay, so once our butter is melted, I'm going to add 1 stick of cinnamon, and again, as I said, I will leave a link to these ingredients that you're probably not going to be able to find in your local grocery store. Trust me, these are going to make this amazing. So let's throw our stick of cinnamon in there. We are also going to add 3 green cardamom pods, along with 1 black cardamom pod, and 3 whole cloves. And we're just going to mix that together, let it get fragrant. Alright, so once we have everything nice and fragrant, we're going to add the following. 2 teaspoons of Kashmiri chili powder, along with 1.5 teaspoons of cumin, and a teaspoon of Garam Marsala. And we just give that a mix. Next, we're going to add a tablespoon of garlic paste, and a tablespoon of ginger paste. And again, the exact measurements will be in the description. Give that a good mix. Next, we're going to go in with 2 cups of tomato puree, and we're also going to go in with 1 cup of water. And we're just going to slowly cook it. We just want this to slowly come together. Slow sometimes is always best. We're going to add some more salt just to make sure it's seasoned properly. We're also going to add a little bit of sugar just to balance everything out. We are finally going to go in with about 5 tablespoons of heavy cream. And that is going to give us that classic butter chicken color that everybody knows about. Okay, so we're removing our cardamom pods and our cinnamon and our cloves, and then we'll add in our chicken. Now we're going to add back our chicken, and make sure that you include all those juices, those resting juices. That is key to this. We're going to cover and let it simmer for a little bit more. Alright, so we've plated up our butter chicken, and here's what we're looking like. Simple, easy. And I know some of these ingredients seem kind of intimidating, but I assure you, these are going to make this the best butter chicken you've ever made. I hope you give this a try, and I will see you next time.